Credit cards, a modern-day convenience that most of us rely on. They offer us the ability to buy now and pay later, and in many ways, they've made life easier. But behind the shiny plastic and promises of rewards and points lies a much darker reality. Credit card companies are not in the business of helping you. They're in the business of making money, and their profits depend on keeping you in debt. Today, we're uncovering the dark secrets of credit card companies and how they use psychological tricks, hidden fees, and complex terms to keep you trapped in a cycle of debt. The allure of easy money credit cards are designed to be appealing. From the moment you receive that first pre-approved offer in the mail, you're being sold a dream. The dream of financial flexibility, the ability to handle emergencies, and of course the promise of rewards like cashback, airline miles, and points for every dollar you spend. But what these companies don't tell you up front is that credit cards are one of the most expensive forms of borrowing. With interest rates that can soar well above 20%, any balance you carry from month to month can quickly snowball into a much larger debt. And that's exactly what credit card companies want. They know that if they can entice you to use your card regularly and carry a balance, they can charge you interest on that balance month after month. The more you owe, the more they make. In fact, the average American household that carries credit card debt pays over $1,000 in interest every year. For the credit card companies, it's a lucrative business model. Psychological traps and behavioral economics. Credit card companies are experts in behavioral economics, the study of how psychological factors influence economic decision-making. They use this knowledge to create traps that keep you spending more and paying off less. One of the most powerful tools in their arsenal is the minimum payment trap. When you receive your credit card statement, you'll notice that it highlights the minimum payment you need to make. This amount is often very low, sometimes just 2% of your total balance. It seems manageable, and that's the point. Credit card companies want you to pay the minimum amount because it keeps you in debt longer. By making only the minimum payment, you're barely chipping away at the principal balance. Most of your payment goes toward interest, which means your debt continues to grow. Over time, what might have started as a small balance can balloon into something much more unmanageable. But that's not the only psychological trick they use. Have you ever noticed that credit cards often offer teaser rates or introductory offers, like 0% interest for the first 6 months? These offers are designed to lure you in and get you to spend more. Once the introductory period ends, the interest rate jumps, and suddenly, that balance you've been carrying comes with a hefty price tag. Credit card companies also know that most people are bad at keeping track of their spending, especially when using plastic. Studies have shown that people spend more when they use credit cards compared to cash. The physical act of handing over money creates a psychological barrier that credit cards eliminate. This phenomenon, known as the pain of paying, is lessened when you swipe a card, making it easier to overspend without even realizing it. Hidden fees and penalties. Credit card companies are masters of fine print. Buried within the terms and conditions of your credit card agreement are a host of fees and penalties designed to catch you off guard. One of the most common is the late payment fee. If you miss your payment due date, even by a single day, you can be hit with a fee of $30, $40, or more. And that's just the beginning. Late payments can also trigger a penalty interest rate, which can be significantly higher than your regular APR. Suddenly, you're paying 29.99% interest on your balance, making it even harder to pay down your debt. Over-limit fees are another way credit card companies can squeeze more money out of you. Even though many cards no longer charge these fees thanks to regulations, some still do. If you exceed your credit limit, you can be charged an additional fee, which only adds to your debt. But perhaps the most insidious fee is the balance transfer fee. Many credit cards offer balance transfer promotions, allowing you to move your debt from one card to another at a lower interest rate. It sounds like a great deal until you realize that most cards charge a fee of 3% to 5% of the amount transferred. So if you transfer $5,000, you could end up paying $250 in fees. And if you don't pay off the balance within the promotional period, the interest rate can skyrocket, leaving you in an even worse financial position than before. Complex terms and lack of transparency. Understanding your credit card terms can feel like deciphering a foreign language. The language used in credit card agreements is often intentionally complex, designed to confuse and obscure important details. This lack of transparency makes it difficult for consumers to understand exactly what they're agreeing to and what the true cost of their credit card will be. Take, for example, the way interest is calculated. Most credit cards use a method called average daily balance, which means your interest is calculated based on the balance you carry each day during the billing cycle. But here's the catch. If you carry a balance from the previous month, you're paying interest not just on your current purchases, but on the entire balance, including any interest from the previous month. This can lead to a situation where you're paying interest on interest, making it nearly impossible to get out of debt. Then there's the issue of credit card rewards. While rewards programs are one of the biggest selling points of credit cards, they're not as straightforward as they seem. The points or cashback you earn often come with strings attached, such as expiration dates, minimum redemption amounts, or restrictions on how you can use them. And in many cases, the value of the rewards is less than the interest you're paying on your balance. Credit card companies also reserve the right to change your terms at any time. This means they can increase your interest rate, change your fees, or reduce your credit limit with little notice. If you're carrying a balance, these changes can have a significant impact on your finances. The debt trap: how they keep you hooked. Once you're in debt, credit card companies do everything they can to keep you there. One of the most effective ways they do this is by continually increasing your credit limit. It might seem like a good thing when your credit card company offers you more credit, but it's actually a trap. The more credit you have, the more you're likely to spend, and the harder it becomes to pay off your balance. Credit card companies also know that as long as you have available credit, you're more likely to use it in an emergency. Whether it's a car repair, a medical bill, or an unexpected expense, credit cards are often the first thing people turn to. But this only adds to your debt, making it harder to climb out of the hole. And let's not forget the credit score game. Your credit score is a crucial part of your financial life, and credit card companies know it. They use your credit score to determine your interest rate, credit limit, and even whether to approve your application in the first place. But what many people don't realize is that carrying a balance can actually lower your credit score, which can then lead to higher interest rates and more fees. It's a vicious cycle that's hard to break. Breaking free: how to protect yourself. So, how can you protect yourself from the traps set by credit card companies? The first step is awareness. Understanding the tactics these companies use to keep you in debt is the key to breaking free. One of the most effective ways to avoid falling into the credit card debt trap is to pay your balance in full every month. By doing so, you avoid interest charges and keep your financial life under control. If you can't pay your balance in full, focus on paying more than the minimum payment. This will help you pay down your debt faster and reduce the amount of interest you pay over time. Another important strategy is to read and understand your credit card terms. It might be boring, but taking the time to understand how your interest is calculated, what fees you might be charged, and what your rewards actually mean can save you a lot of money in the long run. If you're struggling with credit card debt, consider seeking help from a financial advisor or credit counseling service. They can help you create a plan to pay off your debt and avoid falling back into the same traps in the future. Finally, consider alternatives to credit cards for emergency expenses. Building an emergency fund with a few months' worth of living expenses can help you avoid relying on credit cards when the unexpected happens. This way, you're not adding to your debt every time life throws you a curveball. Conclusion: the true cost of credit cards. Credit cards can be a useful tool, but they come with a high price. The dark secrets of credit card companies, psychological traps, hidden fees, complex terms, and the debt trap are all designed to keep you in debt and keep their profits rolling in. But with awareness and careful financial management, you can protect yourself from these tactics and take control of your financial future. Remember, the best way to beat the credit card companies at their own game is to stay informed, stay disciplined, and always think twice before you swipe that card.